Hey, this is a belated response to Piro and the series of videos that were posted a couple of weeks ago. I do have a lot to say, but I think what I will say will be quite concise, and hopefully I'll try to make it as clear as I possibly can. Piro, of course, is arguing that the a priori, a posteriori distinction is not a valid one, and in order to believe in it, I need to believe in some pure, unadulterated reason, which certainly is not the case. I don't believe in any Platonic heavens. I don't believe in anything that's going to clutter up my ontology. I'm a good housekeeper in that department, so I try to keep my ontology as compact as I possibly can. So I'm certainly not going to believe in this transcendental Platonic heaven of eternal truths or anything like that, but I am going to hold that some truths are necessary truths. And the distinction that I'm going to give, you'll see that it's not going to invoke this picture that you ascribe to me, nor does it need to. A priori truths are simply those statements which are true solely in virtue of either there being true by definition and or true in virtue of the application of logic. So things that are true by definition are a priori truths, or things that we can come to through the use of logic, the application of logic, and or definitions at the same time. So those things are a priori truths. You can't give me an experiment to demonstrate an a priori truth to me. It simply doesn't happen. A equals A is an a priori truth. There's no experiment that we could carry out for that. 2 plus 2 equals 4 is an a priori truth. Bachelors are unmarried men is an a priori truth. They're truth solely through the application of logic or the definitions of the words that we use. There's nothing spooky about that. They're necessary truths, because if our logic is valid, then we can't have round squares. I don't think that round squares are logically possible, and I think that if you deny that logic can be applied to reality, then you can't make any reference to deduction or induction and call it valid. If you deny that logic cannot be applied to reality, then you're in a little bit of a pickle if you want to say anything at all about it. Which brings me on to my second point, which is your denying of the excluded middle. Not only do I think that this is an invalid position, I also think that it's an illegitimate position to hold, and the reason is kind of straightforward. If you deny that the only possible states of affairs are A and not A, the only possible truth conditions are either A is true or it's not true, and you think A and not A can simultaneously obtain, so you deny that. That's basically the denial of the excluded middle. Now, that means that you cannot rule out anything that contradicts you, because it could also be true. So you say there's no excluded middle. I say there is. You can't say that I'm wrong, because I contradict you. So I think I win that one, to be quite honest. There's a number of ways that you could go about answering that. You could say, well, no, the excluded middle is not true of reality, but it's true of our theories. Your theories, therefore, cannot possibly explain the reality which you depict, unless they involve contradiction. And if they involve contradiction, I think you're kind of screwed. I think, personally, you probably made a certain interpretation from quantum physics, which, by the way, is not an inevitable interpretation of quantum physics. There are many other metaphysical implications that we could draw from it that don't involve the denial of the law of non-contradiction. Because once we accept the law of non-contradiction, then even quantum physics, which describes the law of non-contradiction, simultaneously does not describe the law of non-contradiction. So, denying the law of excluded middle, it just completely makes your position illegitimate, because you can't argue about the truth or falsity of things. So you can't even say that your theory is in fact true, or that any other theory is wrong. And I think that completely leaves you out of the debate altogether. So that's where I stand on the issue. If you want to get back to me and comment why this isn't the case, then yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Peace.